Virgo, October energies are upon us. Are you ready? Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello, all. Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your transformational tarot reading for the month of October for Virgos. And oh, my fellow Virgos, I hope you had an incredible birthday season. And October is shaping up to bring us some really interesting stuff. So let's get into it here. We are going to be pulling an overarching theme for you from the Sweet Ass Affirmations 2 from Rage Create. And this deck was the one that spoke to me, the Pocket of Peers from Jamie Sawyer. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so here is what we got going on in our world. And of course, I am a Virgo sun, Gemini moon, and Libra rising. So I'm going to be talking about this as we and us. Just to keep things simple, because I need this reading as much as you guys do. All right, let's see what's going on. I rock out to knock my blocks out. OMG. Do I ever feel this in the energies of what I've been tapping into for us? So I rock out to knock my blocks out is coming up for us because we have had one hell of a ride. And not just us as Virgos, I feel like we as a collective in general have had one hell of a ride. And for us as Virgos, because this is now our time to, I want to say, to rise, we are moving out of the shitstorm that we've been in, and other people are now starting to move into it. It's important for us to knock all of the residual blocks and all of the blocks that were ours from that previous existence. But also, October is inviting us to knock out all of the blocks that we have surreptitiously collected from everyone else who is now starting to get into this space and this phase. So I feel like this is a big message for us in October to really take time out to cleanse the palate, clean the chakras out, make sure that your energy levels are balanced, that you are not overcommitting, that you are not taking on things that don't serve you, don't bring you joy, that you simply just don't want to do. You know, we are very much in service, and we're in service to a lot of people, and we're in service in a lot of different ways. And I feel like right now what we are being called to at this time is to make sure that we are in service to ourselves, because October moving into November and then, moving on from there, we are absolutely going to be in need. We are going to be in service, and we are going to be doing it on a very regular basis. So October, while yes, you are still going to be shining your light, putting things out into the world, helping as needed, as requested, as required. This is also a time to, I want to say, kick back a little bit, like take the boots off, put your feet up on the table, or let your hair down, put your best dress on, and, go out and shake your moneymaker. Okay. Because we need to make sure that our energy is pure. And this is the month to do it. We've had that reset. We are, we've come out of I want to say the peak eclipse season. And now this next 6 months that eclipse energy is going to be unfolding, and it's going to be unfolding for the collective. And we are definitely going to be in service to the collective. So I rock out to knock my blocks out. So this is our permission from the universe to have a little fun, to make a little, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. All right. And so where are we at in the present moment with our current transformational journey? What part of us is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Oh, interesting. So yeah, we're definitely in that expansive space. I know that I am swiftly running out of tarot stickers for my journal. with the Three of Wands and consequently the Emperor card. So it'll be interesting to see if the Emperor shows up here as well. Because we have been in this space of expansion. We've been craving the expansion. We've been seeking it out. We've been throwing some spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks in regards to that expansion. And I feel like it makes total sense that this is where we're at. What I'm really drawn to in this particular image is the sort of the racing car checkerboard that is on this individual's shirt. And whenever I see a checkerboard in the tarot, it symbolizes for me the game of life. And I feel that we as Virgos at this particular juncture in our transformational journey are very clear on what is the game and what is the spiritual path. So as I was saying before, we need to clear our energy out and be crystal clear with ourselves and pure of energy, have that purity of energy, because we are now in a space where the craving, the wanting, the yearning, the desiring of expansion is moving into we are expanding. And I don't mean to imply that we haven't been expanding all along. We have been. But this is like, it's been like taffy. It's been like 3 steps forward, 10 steps back sometimes, right? And 3 steps forward, 2 steps back at other times. This now I feel is we've kind of got a green light to go. So where we're at right now and what part of us is shifting, rising, or dissolving, I feel like the blocks are dissolving and I feel like we are now rising. We've already done all of the shifting. That's what all of the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back has been about. Now we are in the rising, and it's going to be a slow and steady rise, or maybe not slow and steady, maybe medium and steady that's coming up here. I'm also drawn to, it looks like a domino here, and it's got a heart on the one side and a dark dot on the other. And I used to play dominoes with my grandmother many years ago. I don't remember all the rules or the ins and outs of what it is, but I'm drawn to this domino because if we think about the dominoes, we can also think about like setting them up so that you just flick it and all of a sudden they all tumble down in succession and they create beautiful artwork. I feel like this is what we have been through, and this is what the collective is now going to be going through. And so it's important for us to understand the part and the role that we play. It can be triggering at times to watch other people going through what we went through. It's important, absolutely important, that we kind of separate ourselves from that, like emotional detachment from that, so that we can absolutely be in our heart space to assist, because we have the capacity to do that. We have the information for other people that other people are going to need as they're going through it. And it is going to be a beautiful work of art because we've been through it. So we can help them to navigate those waters. And I just feel like that's really what we're rising into at this time. All right, this is the catalyst. What's fueling or hindering this transformation? And is it resistance or rocket fuel? Oh, I love it. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, gratitude for getting the fark out of where we were and now finally feeling like, okay, we've ended something. We're ready to move on. We're ready to do this thing now, do this thing called life, and we're prepared. This month we are still, I want to say, gathering resource. And I feel like the catalyst is going to be the arrival of some really juicy resource. And in some cases, for many of us, I feel like it's going to almost be like a big welcome surprise. Oh my God, I never expected this. I know I planted seeds for this and this, but I never expected to show up in this way, or I didn't expect this level of abundance. So I want to say, embrace that, because quite frankly, you earned it. You earned it with all the things that you've done. And so that catalyst, I feel, is really like, going back to this analogy, like the Formula 500 or whatever. It's like the flag goes down or the gun goes off. Now you've got license. You've got a free path forward, free and clear of obstacles. The only thing that's going to get in your way and hold you back is you. So let's not do that, right? Let's not and say we did and just carry on and move forward. Also, I'm really drawn to the fact that the first card we pulled is a 3, the second card we pulled is a 9. 3 divides into 9, and anything that divides into 9 is always a very interesting combination of things, because they're all, I want to say, connections to the 3, connections to creation. So what are we creating? 9s are endings, and it's a real connection to service. So we are coming to a conclusion and a resolution. We are in that gratitude. We are recognizing that the perseverance that we have created, the practice makes perfect, is now playing out. And we're shifting gears to get ready to be in service in ways that we are now highly qualified for. Highly qualified for. Don't know that we necessarily wanted that level of qualification, but we've got it, right? So if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Okay, the deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Yeah. Okay, so I'm hearing for some of us, this actually does represent a person in your life where there is going to be a little bit of strife, a little bit of argument. I want to say it goes past a disagreement. It feels like an argument. And I feel like this argument comes up not because of miscommunication, but because of control. And it's one person trying to control the other person. This is not for all. This is not for all of us, but I will say to you that if you don't fall into this category of being a person that is involved in this conflict, you are going to be a person who witnesses someone who is involved in a control dynamic struggle. I do not know why, but I feel like this may be, for some of you, like mother-daughter, mother-son, mother figure, sisters or brothers who feel like they act like your mothers, right? That kind of energy, and the motherly energy is out of balance. It's not the healthy version of divine femininity. It feels like it's, quite honestly, it's the divine masculine that is outdated and that is out of balance. So when we're talking about the deep root here, I feel like we could say the deep root is feeling controlled. And now that we are fully into our expansion, and we not only can we taste it, but we're actually moving on it now, we're living it, and we have the resources that we need. The last thing we want right now is another person or a situation coming in to stop that flow, to try and tell us how to be, because we've learned all the ways that we need to be. I rock out to knock my blocks out. This is a block. This person is a block. And if it's not a person, it's a choice. It's an unconscious choice that you're making to stay, to go, to stay or to go is what I'm feeling in some capacity. I'm sure there are most situations you can pretty much break it down into that. And, while Queen of Swords is definitely a strong card of boundaries, I feel like when out of control, when out of balance in that, boundaries become restrictive rules, and it becomes entrapment, imprisonment. It becomes a power struggle. So what I'm hearing around this, yes, there's a soul contract. When you're dealing with another person, there's definitely a soul contract here. But I also feel that we're dealing with a different set of beliefs. And because of everything that has transpired in the last, few years, but specifically the last 4 to 4.5 months in Virgo world, the deep belief, not the deep wound, the deep belief has shifted for each of us, but it might not have shifted for those in our lives that we're interacting with, especially someone with that not a nurturing motherly energy, a controlling or a domineering motherly energy. So I really feel strongly that you're going to want to pay attention to this. And if this is like the voice in your head, then you're going to need to do a deep dive. But I'm actually feeling that this is, and it's going to be an external representation of that deep belief or that soul contract energy. So you want to be aware of it, because if you can recognize it right out the gate, you can put a stop to it. You can simply either circumvent this person or say, I'd love to have this conversation with you, but it's going to have to hold because I've got something else on the go. Like, I really feel like this is one of those situations where if you can push it down the road, the conversation down the road, so that you can just keep all of your energy on the actual activity that you're here to do, that's going to be ideal, because then in the end, the conversation may not necessarily need to be had. But if that's not possible and the conversation occurs and that conflict arises in a really big way, just trust and know that this might be their deep belief that you're dealing with, not necessarily yours. And that's maybe what they're resisting, or they're reflecting back to you, is fear that you are changing so much that maybe you're inviting them to bring their A game and they're not prepared for that. So just understand that I feel like in this instance, boundaries need to be reevaluated, and I feel like you need to understand why those boundaries are in place. So there may be a shifting up of those boundaries for sure. Okay, what's dying away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Yeah, so here's the thing. We've really come a long way in understanding wants versus needs. There's been a lot of, I want to say, sacrifice. There's been a lot of willing or unwilling dissolution of people, places, and things. So this 10 of Wands coming up, I feel, is really representing the work that's already been done. You've already recognized where the burden is too heavy, where you've been carrying too much of someone else's stuff, or the burdens that you have been carrying are now finally resolving. They're finally letting up. Whether you've had to just, drop the wands and walk away, or whether you've systematically dealt with them one by one and found a kind of a proper place for them. You've kind of done this work. So I feel like this 10 of Wands is coming up to say, now is the time to really enter into the rewards component of this card. I talk about the rewards and the burdens that go with it. This is often representative of being overburdened too much, too soon. And I mentioned to you earlier, don't overcommit, paying attention to the commitments that you're making here. 10 of Wands is coming up to basically reinforce all of that, but to also say, okay, we're seeing here, all of these microphones in front of this person. There are so many people that want to talk to this person. There are so many people that are interested in what this person has to say. They're not having to work too hard because all the mics are right there, but it does look like she's having to hunch down a little bit in order to be able to, to speak clearly or whatever. So there is a little bit of a burden backbreaking. Like, it's not set up so that it's easy for her. She's accommodating all of these microphones, right? I want to say to you, I feel like what's dying away is that accommodation piece. You having to always sacrifice or to make do or to turn yourself into the pretzel in order to be of service, or in order to get the job done, in order to get the message across. So I say, let's celebrate that and step more into the space of the rewards that come on the other side of that. That actually feels really good. I like that. I like the idea that I don't have to turn myself into a pretzel anymore. No more accommodation unless it's something that I'm perfectly content to do. Here is your highest phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh, look at that puppy dog. 4 of Cups. So I feel like, often when this card comes up, we think about delay, despondence. I always say this is like, there's a tear in my beer and my dog just died, and my pickup truck's got a flat tire. Like, I'm feeling sorry for myself. And there's nothing wrong with having those moments of feeling sorry for yourself. The key is make sure it's a moment and not a month or a lifetime kind of thing. What I'm feeling here when we're talking about what can rise from the ashes, I feel is this. So it's not actually about this person who's feeling despondent and closing his eyes and not paying attention and being oblivious. I feel like this is the focus of the card here. And whenever we have a beautiful white fur creature, a fur baby, that shows up in these cards, it's always a nod from spirit to say, hey, we got your back. And this puppy, quite frankly, is an angel. So we're being given a gift from an angel here. What can rise? Look at the size of this bowl compared to all of these other bowls. I feel like it's like we've arrived. The thing, what did I say about here? It's like you get the resource and it's even better than you could have imagined. It's even more than you thought it could be. This is the potential for you being here, shining your light, having the bowl that can hold more, and having spirit taking the journey with you. 4 is about establishing foundation. It is a number. The energy is manifestation. Cups energy usually says, there's delay around the manifestation. I don't feel that at all. I feel like this is what you left behind. And this is some of the people that you are going to be seeing out and about in the world. They're going to be in this space. And I almost want to say to you, it's like you can knock on their door and say, hi, like I can help you in this way or that. But if they're not interested, let it go and step into this space. We don't want to walk over somebody to get to our goal. You can stop and ask, and you can assist if required, but then this is really where you need to be. I'm also feeling like this is about manifesting emotionally what it is that you want to feel. And when we're talking about October in particular, I feel like this is going to be an everyday experience where every day you wake up, before you roll out of bed in the morning, check in with your head, check in with your heart, check in with your soul. Hey, head, what do you want to experience today? Hey, heart, what would you like to experience today? What would bring you the most joy? Soul, what's on your agenda for today? And how can I participate in that experience? How can I co-create that? I feel like that's what this card is about. I know that's a little pie in the sky and a little airy fairy, but I'm really feeling that is the essence of that highest Phoenix potential for this month, is shifting into the feeling that you want because you're manifesting how you want to feel. And when we manifest anything, we're using feeling to attract to us the thing that we want. So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It matters not. The point is you're in the feeling of what you want to feel, and it's being guided by the angels. It's being guided by source energy. Doesn't get much better than that. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting. So another 10. I love that it's acupuncture. This definitely feels like what's around the corner is a new flow of energy, a complete reset from the ways you have been allowing yourself to, how do I explain this? Like, it's a complete reset on how you have been a conduit for the energy that has been moving through you. I feel like there's this energy of understanding on an intellectual level now in a way that you haven't before, how energy actually works. There's an up leveling to this. And for some of us, it may actually be like you wake up in the middle of the night and it's an aha moment. For some of us, it may be that you're taking a spiritual energy work class and all of a sudden something just clicks, a technique works, or somebody says something and you go, oh my God, that makes so much sense to me. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't see it that way. And now I've got what I need to move forward. I definitely feel that this is an energy thing. It's not a physical thing, it's an energy thing. And when your energy starts to flow, I feel that there is such an up-leveling on that psychic level, the intuitive level. The sensitivity is so heightened that manifestation that we were talking about here, you now have the big crystal bowl that you can make as much sound as you need. You can fill as much with it, into it, as you possibly can. It's almost like the, Hermione's bag that, it's endless. It goes on and on and on forever, but all you see is this tiny little bag, right? It's the magic spell. I feel like this is about how energy flows. And when it says what energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase, I feel like a lot of us are going to literally be doing something that would be considered more spiritual in nature, whether it's through a meditation or going on a walk and just feeling connected to nature or to people or to, the source within. It can also be in conversation with another person, not other people. I don't feel that this is a group thing. It feels much more contained, much more intimate. But there's definitely going to be an aha moment for each of us. And when that energy and frequency starts to flow, there's no mistaking it. You're going to know it. And some of you are going to go, oh my God, I'm afraid to go to sleep because I don't want this to go away. But don't worry, it's not going away. In fact, it's probably going to increase in its intensity at first until it integrates within the body. So you're going to know things that you didn't know before. You're going to sense things that you didn't sense before. For some of you, this might be that, you never talked to the loved ones in spirit before, and now suddenly they're chatting with you all the time. This could be you never were able to do psychometry before, but now you go around and you touch everything and you're getting messages from everything that you touch. I want to say just kind of be open and prepared for anything in that regard and trust that it's happening for you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gift. You in this process of your transformation, how are you navigating it? And are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Oh my God, the star card has been coming through in everybody's readings this month. So definitely also a collective energy of feeling safe enough to be able to pursue the dreams in the way that you've wanted to pursue them. I love that. So this is definitely, I want to say, boldly rising. There's nothing that we as Virgos are going to be doing in, I want to say, the next 2 to 3 years that is not going to have some level of bold with it. So trust that. And I almost want to say it's like there's a general feeling of, I don't care what people think. I don't care about the judgments of others. I don't care if this feels, cuckoo chew or not. I'm going to do it anyway because this is what I'm feeling called to do. This is what feels right for me. This is what I want to do. I was talking a little bit before about wants versus needs. And I don't even know if I finished that thought, but I feel like this is coming through to say, I don't care whether this is a want or a need. The fact that I want it means that I'm worthy and deserving of it. And I'm going to move forward, or I'm going to include it or incorporate it into my visioning. Because damn it, I'm worth it. I can have it. Why not? So there's this liberation from the idea that, being in service has to look a certain way, or, being love and light has to look a certain way. I'm of the variety of I'm a lot of love and light and a little fuck you. And I think that is something that, not to say that y'all need to embrace that, but I'm saying that that's kind of the energy of what I'm feeling here with this star energy is you are the star. You are the one who's bringing the light. You're the one who's bringing the vision. And you're absolutely the one that can add in your wants as well as your needs, and to not have to feel guilty about it. Walk forward, walk boldly into that. What did we say? Boldly rise. Boldly rise into that. We've done all the flow, we've done all the grief, we've done all the resistance. There's nothing left. So, I want to say the floodgates are wide open. So have at it. It's kind of funny. A couple of weeks ago, I went and did this Salt River tubing experience that is in Mesa, in Arizona. And I loved the idea. I have a thing with water. I get nervous with water, but I loved the idea of, being on a tube, and it just flows you down the river. And it's not like crazy rapids. We had a couple of rapids, like maybe level 1, which was plenty for me. To be honest, I'm not very adventurous in that way. But it was wonderful to literally, I was out there and I was thinking to myself, this is what it means to be in flow. And I have been doing that in a lot of ways in my life. This journey over the last few years has taught me to be in flow. And I was with someone who kept wanting to get out, to jump off the rocks and to go lay on the beach and do all the and it was driving me fucking nuts, because I'm like, no, I like this feeling of being in flow. The river is taking me exactly where I need to go. I don't need to have to worry so much about it. And I can look around. I can participate. I can be a part of, rather than being so, calculated and in my head and having to worry about, this and that. That's what I feel this is. That's the boldly rising, is you're like, okay, I'm in flow already. I don't need to practice that. I'm doing that. That's ingrained. That's not a part of the vision. That's part of the foundation of this vision, right? That foundation's already been created. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positively or negatively? You're definitely, I want to say, surrounded by individuals who are very emotionally generous, who are very, I want to say, spiritually generous, in some cases, financially generous. I feel like right now, Virgos, the circles of support are reflecting the new version, right? Reflecting the expansion. And it's like the universe has brought them into our lives to support the expansion, to validate everything that transpired prior. And now we're moving ahead. So yeah, I feel that this is a very positive window of time. I want to say chapter of time for you, where there is support. And I feel like for a lot of you, if there is something that you need, don't forget to ask, because I feel like this is a time when you will receive it. In the past, you've received a lot of no. This is the time now, or maybe, or yes, but this is the time where you're actually going to receive a yes. And I feel like you might even receive a yes and, which means, yes, I'm happy to help you with that. And did you need help with this as well? Because I can do that too. So circles of support feel really supportive. Take advantage of this. I definitely feel this in October. I'm also seeing this carrying into November and quite possibly right through to the end of the year. Not saying it's going to stop entirely, but this does have a certain energy of like it's contained somewhat, or the intensity of it, or the concentration of it has an expiration date, right? And then from there, it just kind of, starts to lose a little bit of its efficacy. So I don't want to give you the impression that, oh my God, like it's going to go away and everything's going to be bad again. No, it just feels like this is a heightened, kind of like your spidey senses. It's a heightened sense of, ask and you shall receive kind of thing. You will get told yes. You will receive the yes. You will get the things that you're requiring, and ask for the wants too. If you need help with the wants, ask for the wants, because that will be a yes as well. Ramen and pastaluya on that. I like that. I feel like I missed. No, I didn't. Okay. This is our hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? This is always a really interesting one. Oh, justice. So Virgos, I think a lot of us have this skewed view of how much we give versus how much we receive. And this isn't about like, oh, I give, 50% so to this person, so this person must give me 50% back in order for this to be an even transaction. No, we're not transactional. And I don't feel like that's what our angels and guides in the universe are trying to say right now. I feel though like because we are moving into this new version of ourselves, because we are in Phoenix rising kind of energy collectively as Virgos, it is time for us to recognize the potency of our service, the potency of our energy. So the way I like to talk about this is it's the frozen lemonade cans that you get in the freezer at the grocery store. If you take that home and you take a spoon and you have a little bit of the frozen concentrate, woo, the pucker, right? It could water your eyes if you're not into that. It's really, really strong and maybe so tart that it's not even enjoyable. But then you add a little water to it and then it becomes palatable, right? Same kind of concept with our energy. Who you were a year ago and the energy level that you produced a year ago is very different to the energy level that you are producing today. And I want to say a little goes a long way. So I feel like with this justice card, what it's actually referring to right now for you guys is balance. Like you're trying to balance out and even out the give and the take. And you're trying to do that in a very heady way. You're trying to use your mind. But I feel like this is an energetic issue. And what you're not accounting for is the fact that your energy has become more concentrated, more potent. That's good, because that means you need to give 1%. And for the average person that you're giving that 1% to, it's going to feel like 55% to them or 85% to them. So the justice card, I feel, is coming in because you're afraid that there's an uneven exchange on your part, that you're not giving enough. And I'm feeling here that the universe is trying to say to you, no, 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 you got to really look at the shifts that have occurred so quickly within you, that the energy levels and what it is that you're giving, what it is that you're contributing is having a very solid, very profound effect. So that justice card is saying, hey, look at, the balancing of the scales. You're always having to balance the scales. This isn't a one size fits all. Test your, put a little bit of your energy in there and see how it goes, because there has been a major shift. Wow, that's really exciting. I also want to say, for those of you who are healers, hands-on healers, or doing remote healing, just a word of caution. You may, what normally took you an hour to do in a healing session may only take you a half hour or 40 minutes. Trust that. You may need to adjust some of your appointment times, or add in maybe like a guided meditation or something to fill the time, because you don't want to overdo it. Just like anything, with a detox, sometimes it makes you sicker before it makes you feel better, right? And everybody's at a different level of receiving and what they're able to process. So just kind of an FYI on that. Here's the outcome if you stay on course this month. Who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Wow, this has been coming up a lot too. Page of Wands, finding our passion again, feeling into that passion, being ready to dance with the fire, to dance with the flames. I love that she's in the desert because it feels like me. And it's bringing life to the desert, bringing fire to the desert. I feel very much that pages are like a student energy, but it's also about, it's got similar energy to the Fool in that, okay, we're learning a new path. And pages don't have really any expectation. They're just wide open. They're excited about the adventure itself. They're excited about all of it, to learn everything. Yeah, there's a fanciful outcome that they're envisioning, and that they would like to get to, but they're not attached to it because they don't know enough to be attached to all of it. And I feel like this is like that beginner's mind. Page of Wands, this is where we want to be. We want to be in that space of, oh my God, yes, let me lean into the adventure. Let me lean into the passion. Let me lean into this next new journey, because I know that it's what I have been preparing for. So I know I have the things that I need, or I'm going to have the things that I need. I'm not worrying about that. Now let's just, get on it. Let's have some fun. This is really exciting. I feel a lot of lightheartedness, a lot of lack of burden. We had the ten of wands, lack of burden in this space moving forward. And I feel like this is our new norm. And that's what this is representing for us in October. Wow. Loving that. All right, Virgos, that is your transformational tarot for October. And if you need any assistance, any help with this, anything at all, running into any problems where you could use a little support, please feel free to click on the link below and book a session with me. I would love to be able to connect with you guys. Otherwise, until we see each other again for another segment of Black Feather Couture Divining a VIP Life, we will see you on the flip side, and transform well.